The vast, rolling hills of the American South have long served as the backdrop for stories of triumph, tradition, and deep-seated identity. There is a specific rhythm to life in these expanses, a cadence defined by the gentle rustle of the wind through acres of lush greenery and the steady hum of a quiet country road. It is a landscape that carries the weight of history while maintaining an almost timeless serenity, capturing the imagination of millions who view it as the definitive heartland. In the modern digital age, where everyday existence is frequently translated into fleeting moments on a screen, even the simplest depiction of this scenery can resonate across a vast audience, striking a chord that vibrates far beyond the boundaries of a single social media platform. When a prominent public figure shares a glimpse into this quiet world, it rarely remains just a personal observation. Instead, it becomes a mirror reflecting the collective sentiments, dreams, and occasional divisions of a nation looking toward a massive milestone. This connection between the serene reality of the land and the turbulent world of public perception sets the stage for a deeper look into how modern fame intersects with traditional values. If you appreciate these deep dives into the lives of cultural icons and the stories that shape our shared narrative, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update on the cultural moments that define our times. As the midsummer heat settles over the country, a distinct atmosphere of reflection and celebration begins to emerge, particularly as the United States approaches a monumental historic landmark. The upcoming 4th of July weekend is not just another annual holiday. It marks the semi-quincentennial anniversary of the nation, celebrating 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This rare and significant milestone has prompted citizens across the country to reflect deeply on their heritage, their history, and what it truly means to belong to this land. For generations, the concept of patriotism has been closely tied to the artistic expressions of those who give voice to the heartland, particularly within the realm of country music. It is a genre deeply rooted in the storytelling traditions of working-class communities, often serving as a cultural repository for themes of gratitude, faith, and a deep appreciation for the physical landscape. Therefore, it is entirely natural that as this historic anniversary approaches, the voices of the country music industry find themselves feeling particularly reflective, leaning into the imagery and emotions that have defined their art for decades. This period of national contemplation provides a unique lens through which we can observe the power of simple, unvarnished imagery to evoke profound emotional responses from an audience that spans generations and backgrounds. At the center of this cultural intersection is a 43-year-old country music superstar who has spent the last 2 decades firmly embedded in the fabric of American popular culture. Rising from humble beginnings in a small Oklahoma town, she captured the hearts of the nation during a monumental television victory in 2005. Launching a career that would see her become one of the most successful and decorated female artists in the history of the genre. Over the years, her journey has been defined not just by her undeniable vocal power and hit records, but also by her consistent dedication to a lifestyle that mirrors the values of her core audience. Living on a sprawling estate in Tennessee alongside her husband, a former professional hockey standout, and their 2 young sons, she has cultivated an image that balances the glitz of international superstardom with the grounded realities of Southern family life. This dual existence, navigating the intense spotlight of the entertainment industry while tending to a quiet home life filled with simple pleasures like orchard harvesting and home cooking, has made her a deeply relatable figure for millions of who look to her as an authentic representative of contemporary American life. This past week, this beloved entertainer chose to share a quiet, seemingly mundane moment from her daily life, with her 13.1 million followers on Instagram, sparking a massive wave of emotional responses that highlights the current national mood. The video clip she uploaded did not feature the high production values of a music video or the structured presentation of a television broadcast. Instead, it was filmed from the passenger seat of a moving vehicle, capturing a panoramic view of a sprawling southern landscape. The visual narrative was dominated by a large rustic fence that stretched across the property, adorned at regular intervals with American flags that fluttered gently in the breeze against a backdrop of vibrant, lush greenery. In a deliberate artistic choice, she eschewed the addition of any background music or produced soundscape, allowing the natural audio of the wind rushing past the vehicle and the low, rhythmic rumble of the road to provide the sole accompaniment to the footage. Alongside this serene recording, she penned a simple yet evocative caption expressing her profound gratitude for her surroundings, stating how unbelievable it felt to live there, offering a prayer of thanks, and tagging the post with expressions of national pride and her home state of Tennessee. The simplicity of the post stood in stark contrast to the massive, emotionally charged reactions it immediately provoked from her vast digital audience, demonstrating how a singular image can unlock deeply buried feelings within the public consciousness. Among the thousands of comments that flooded the post, several stood out for their intense vulnerability and raw honesty, particularly those from individuals who had served the country in various military conflicts. One combat veteran from the Vietnam War noted that while he was generally not a very emotional person anymore due to the hardships he had faced, the unvarnished footage of the flags against the landscape brought incredibly deep feelings into his heart, prompting him to offer a blessing to the singer. Another veteran echoed this sentiment, expressing a fervent hope that other former service members would get to see the post, explaining that if those flags truly reflected an appreciation for freedom, the display made the painful experiences of his past feel a little less heavy. These deeply personal testimonials transformed a brief social media update into a poignant town square of shared remembrance and gratitude, illustrating the profound weight that national symbols still hold for those who sacrificed to protect them. Beneath this surface-level exchange of gratitude and tradition lies a more complex and tense narrative regarding the singer's place within the modern cultural and social landscape. While her post was celebrated by many as a beautiful and timely expression of national pride ahead of a historic milestone, it also exists within a broader context of public scrutiny and past controversies that have occasionally challenged her standing. Over the course of her extensive career, her traditional lifestyle and public expressions of faith and patriotism have sometimes drawn criticism from sections of the public who interpret these choices through a specific cultural lens. The contrast between her quiet domestic routine, such as sharing photos of a freshly picked basket of peaches from her orchard or a snapshot of a homemade cobbler, and the intense, often polarizing debates that surround high-profile celebrities in the modern era creates a palpable tension. As we prepare to delve deeper into the specific events that have shaped this public discourse and the complexities of her journey through fame, tradition, and the expectations of a diverse audience, the quiet image of flags waving in the Tennessee wind serves as a compelling entry point into a multi-layered story of an American icon navigating the delicate balance between personal conviction and public life. The serene depiction of the Tennessee countryside, with its quiet roads and fluttering flags, offers a stark contrast to the intense public scrutiny that frequently surrounds those who occupy the highest echelons of the entertainment industry. For a superstar who has spent more than 2 decades in the public eye, maintaining a balance between a deeply rooted personal identity and the shifting expectations of a massive global audience is a continuous, often precarious task. The overwhelming emotional response from veterans and traditionalists to her recent patriotic video serves as a reminder of the powerful bond she shares with a specific segment of the American population. However, this bond has not been forged in a vacuum. It has been tested and shaped by a series of defining moments, professional transitions, and sharp public divisions that highlight how deeply polarized the cultural landscape has become in recent years. To understand the depth of the current public reaction, it is essential to examine the complex tapestry of her career, her high-profile return to the television platform that launched her to stardom, and the intense moments of friction that have occasionally threatened to overshadow her artistic achievements. Her prominent place in contemporary media was further solidified by her recent, highly publicized career transition back to her original roots on national television. Having risen to fame as the triumphant winner of the blockbuster singing competition American Idol during its legendary 4th season in 2005, her career came full circle 2 decades later. In January of 2025, it was officially announced that she would be returning to the hit program for its 23rd season, stepping into a pivotal new role as a main judge on the panel. This major appointment came as she replaced the outgoing pop superstar Katy Perry, a transition that media analysts noted brought a distinctly different energy and cultural perspective to the judging table. Stepping onto the panel alongside longtime judges Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan, she brought the unique credibility of someone who had actually walked the path from an unknown small-town hopeful to an international stadium-filling icon. Her presence on the show was met with widespread enthusiasm from longtime fans of the franchise, and her successful tenure quickly extended into the current 24th season, cementing her status as a guiding force for the next generation of musical talent. Yet, even as her television career reached new heights of mainstream success, the undercurrents of cultural and ideological friction were never far below the surface. This friction became undeniably apparent during a highly charged period in early 2025, following a major public appearance that split her fan base along sharp ideological lines. The 8-time Grammy Award winner found herself at the center of an intense social media firestorm after she accepted an invitation to perform at the second presidential inauguration of Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. The decision to participate in such a highly visible, politically charged national event immediately triggered a massive wave of public backlash from a segment of her followers who viewed the performance as an explicit endorsement of a deeply controversial political figure. For several weeks, her digital platforms were transformed into ideological battlefields, with critics expressing intense disappointment and vow to boycott her music, while supporters fiercely defended her right to perform at an event of major national significance. The public controversy quickly escalated beyond internet forums and social media commentary, capturing the attention of mainstream daytime television and national media pundits who analyzed the situation with fierce intensity. On the popular ABC daytime talk show The View, co-host Joy Behar launched a direct, highly critical attack against the country music star, questioning the underlying motivations behind her participation in the inaugural festivities. Behar focused heavily on the fact that the performance occurred after the incoming president had been convicted in a high-profile hush money trial in New York, arguing that performing at the event served to normalize a convicted felon. During the broadcast, Behar passionately challenged the singer's public expressions of national pride, asking how someone could claim to love their country while simultaneously supporting and normalizing an individual who, in Behar's opinion, actively wanted to destroy the fabric of the nation. This sharp critique from a prominent media figure intensified the scrutiny surrounding the songstress, elevating a single musical performance into a symbolic flashpoint in the ongoing cultural discourse regarding fame, patriotism, and political accountability. In the face of this overwhelming wave of criticism and media analysis, the seasoned entertainer chose to address the controversy directly, offering a defense rooted in her long-standing personal convictions rather than political partisanship. She publicly maintained that her decision to perform for the incoming administration was born out of a deep, abiding love for the United States and a profound sense of civic duty, rather than an alignment with any specific political agenda or individual candidate. She explained that she felt incredibly humbled to answer the call to perform at an official national event, describing it as a critical moment when the citizens of the country must strive to come together in a true spirit of national unity and mutual respect. This defense, while satisfying to her core base of traditional supporters, did little to quiet her most ardent detractors, leaving a lingering tension that has continued to influence how her public actions and social media posts are interpreted by the broader public. This deep-seated tension provides a crucial framework for understanding why a simple, unvarnished video of American flags on a Tennessee fence line can evoke such remarkably disparate reactions in the current social climate. For her supporters, particularly the older generations and military veterans who left emotional comments, the post is seen as a beautiful, authentic expression of pure, apolitical patriotism from a woman who has consistently remained true to her traditional upbringing and values. They see her quiet moments of domestic life, like harvesting fresh peaches from her orchard or baking a homemade cobbler for her family, as evidence of a grounded, wholesome lifestyle that stands in opposition to the perceived cynicism of modern Hollywood. To these fans, her refusal to add produced music to the video, allowing only the natural sounds of the country road and the wind to be heard, was a powerful statement of humility and deep reverence for the land she calls home. Conversely, for those who remain critical of her past public choices, even the most seemingly innocent display of patriotism is viewed through a lens of skepticism and ongoing cultural fatigue. In an era where national symbols are frequently perceived as being co-opted for specific ideological messaging, a prominent display of multiple American flags can be interpreted by some as a subtle alignment with conservative traditionalism. The memory of her controversial inaugural performance in early 2025 continues to cast a long shadow over her public persona. causing any overt expression of national pride to be analyzed for hidden meaning or political subtext. This duality of interpretation highlights the intense pressure faced by modern public figures, for whom a quiet afternoon drive through the countryside can inadvertently trigger a complex national conversation about identity, history, and the true meaning of national unity on the eve of a historic anniversary. The delicate intersection of personal belief and public expectation is a space that this country music powerhouse has navigated for over 20 years, establishing a legacy that is defined as much by resilience as it is by musical achievement. To truly understand the depth of her enduring appeal, one must look closely at the remarkable journey that brought her to this specific point in time. Living on a peaceful estate in Tennessee while remaining a central figure in American popular culture. Born and raised in the rural community of Chakotah, Oklahoma, her early life was shaped by the modest realities of a working-class Midwestern family, where singing in the local church choir provided the foundation for an extraordinary vocal talent. When she auditioned for American Idol in late 2004, she was an introverted college student who had rarely traveled outside her home state. Her definitive victory in May of 2005 transformed her overnight into a national phenomenon, launching a career that would rapidly break industry records, secure 8 Grammy Awards, and yield dozens of #1 country hits, permanently altering the landscape of modern country music. Throughout this meteoric rise to fame, she consistently sought to maintain a deeply grounded personal life that mirrored the traditional values of the audience that first supported her. This search for stability led to her high-profile romance with former professional hockey star Mike Fisher, a standout forward in the National Hockey League known for his physical play and strong personal convictions. The couple married in a lavish ceremony in July of 2010, creating a high-profile partnership that managed to thrive despite the intense pressures of the sports and entertainment media. Over their 16-year marriage, they built a quiet life away from the cameras, welcoming their first son, Isaiah, in 2015, followed by their second son, Jacob, in 2019. Now aged 11 and 7, the boys are raised on a sprawling farm outside of Nashville, where their mother consciously balances her high-stakes career with the simple rhythms of domestic life. This deliberate dedication to family, home-cooked meals, and seasonal traditions like picking fresh orchard fruit has created a unique dynamic, allowing her to remain a relatable figure to millions of everyday people while simultaneously commanding global concert stages. This complex balance between public duty and private simplicity becomes even more poignant as the nation prepares for the monumental semiquincentennial anniversary, a historic milestone that marks precisely 250 years since the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. Such an anniversary naturally prompts a period of intense cultural inventory, forcing citizens to look back at the triumphs and tribulations that have shaped the American identity over 2.5 centuries. For an artist whose entire career is built upon the storytelling traditions of the American heartland, this upcoming historic weekend carries an undeniable emotional weight. It is within this specific atmosphere of nationwide reflection that her simple, unadorned video of flags fluttering along a Tennessee fence line transitions from a routine social media upload into a profound cultural statement. The video tapped directly into a collective longing for unity and gratitude, providing a brief moment of quiet contemplation for a nation that has spent much of the recent past grappling with deep internal divisions, the profound emotional responses from military veterans, such as the Vietnam combat survivor who expressed how the image brought deep feelings back into his heart, underscore the unique role that cultural icons play during times of national reflection. For those who have experienced the harsh realities of conflict and sacrifice, symbols like the flag are not abstract concepts or political tools. They are deeply personal representations of service, loss, and the shared values they fought to protect. When a major public figure highlights these symbols in a gentle, non-confrontational manner, allowing only the natural sound of the wind and the open road to fill the silence, it provides a rare sense of validation and healing for those who often feel overlooked by the fast-paced, cynical nature of modern media. The veteran who thanked her for making the painful memories of his service feel a bit lighter demonstrated that art and simple expressions of gratitude still possess the unique power to bridge generational divides and offer solace to those who have sacrificed the most, however. The enduring legacy of this country music star is also defined by her willingness to withstand the intense pressures of an increasingly polarized public square without compromising her core identity. Her performance at the presidential inauguration in early 2025 and the subsequent media storm led by television personalities like Joy Behar served as a defining test of her resilience. By framing her participation as a matter of national unity and civic responsibility rather than political endorsement, she demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of her position as a traditional cultural ambassador. In a modern media environment where public figures are frequently pressured to choose sides or retreat into safe, predictable echo chambers, her decision to stand firm in her love for the country while continuing to engage with a diverse national audience shows a remarkable degree of strength and career longevity as the country moves forward into its next historic chapter. The story of this Oklahoma native turned global superstar serves as a compelling reflection of the broader American experience itself, a journey marked by humble beginnings, immense success, inevitable moments of sharp internal conflict, and an ongoing search for common ground. Her return to national television as a leading voice on the judges' panel of American Idol allows her to directly shape the future of American music, ensuring that the values of authenticity, hard work, and emotional honesty remain central to the next generation of performers. Meanwhile, her quiet days spent tending to her orchard, baking cobblers for her husband and sons, and driving past American flags waving in the southern breeze provide the necessary foundation that keeps her grounded amid the chaotic winds of global fame. Ultimately, her recent patriotic post is far more than a passing digital trend. It is a timeless testament to the enduring power of faith, gratitude, and a deep appreciation for the land, reminding a nation on the brink of its 250-year anniversary that despite all differences, there remains a beautiful, quiet strength in the things that bring us together.